Hey there, everybody, Pal here, and welcome back. Today I wanted to share with you guys some footage and impressions of the Rainbow Six Siege closed beta. This is the beta that's going on from September 25th and it's supposed to end October 1st. It's less of a beta and more of a network test, system test, even to some extent a demo. From what I can gather, most anybody that went to the website and signed up got a beta key. You didn't have to buy into this or anything. It wasn't a really selective beta. The game is scheduled to launch on December 1st, so basically exactly 2 months from the end of this beta. I point this out because generally with this type of thing, you're always, well, subject to change. This is my impressions of something that's going to be fluid. With 2 months to go, what we're seeing is going to be pretty reliable of what the final product is going to be. Now, the beta is trimmed down. They're definitely not showing everything they have, and this is probably going to be one of the bigger problems with it. For a beta that's almost working like a demo, it doesn't show enough to really put much confidence into the price tag, but we'll get into all of that later. Let's start with the good. The good is, overall, it's actually very enjoyable. If you don't know what Rainbow Six is, the old Rainbow Six back in the late 90s was a counter-terrorist type game. The gameplay all revolved around setting up these attack procedures to move through a complex, a building of some sort with terrorists in it and then hostages or a bomb or something. They're kind of moving away from that. The gameplay was very much known for this simulation-esque, high-damage model, quick death, twitchy gameplay. They're keeping some of that, but they're moving it towards a Counter-Strike style gameplay. So this game, Siege, is mainly focusing on a 5v5 gameplay style system, just like Counter-Strike. There's one life, you die, you're out until the end of the round. First team to win 3 out of 5 rounds, at least currently in the demo, wins the overall match and gets a big bonus. You start off at one point, you're the attacker, then you're the defender, attacker, defender, until the game is over. There's also in the beta, there is a co-op mode, the terrorist hunt mode. This is a bit more of a callback to the original games where it's you and 1 to 4 friends. You can do it alone, so anywhere from 1 to 5 people, I should say. Attacking one of the maps, and it's been populated with any number of AI bots, depending on the difficulty. Your only objective is to go in, clear out as many bots as you can. When you're done, it's over. Or you either win by killing them all, or you die. That is what is currently in the beta. And what is there to play, as I said, it is really good. The current game revolves mainly around breach and clear type procedures. So they went really in depth and really over the top with the destructibility of walls and windows, so you can make your own entries into buildings. Now, if you saw any of the videos coming out of E3, they basically showed any and every surface being destroyable. You could breach anywhere you wanted. They've had to tone that down a bit, it seems. Currently in the game, roughly half of the walls are destroyable, the other half are not. They showed before where you could basically breach through anywhere in the floor to go down to a lower level. That's almost entirely gone now, and a lot of the external walls are not breachable at all. I don't think this was done because they couldn't pull off what they were originally showing. What it seems to me, this was a balanced decision. In order to keep the gameplay fun, in order to have it be reliable, so you're not just backed in a corner and then all of a sudden the whole wall behind you blows away, which sounds entertaining, but could become unbelievably annoying if you don't have the right way to counter it. So I think this was more of a balancing decision that they had to go through. The way the game plays out now, basically there's 3 types of walls. There are walls that you can completely destroy and walk through. You can make a new doorway. There's walls that are wooden paneling over metal struts. You can blow away the wooden paneling, be able to see through and shoot through them, but you can't walk through. And then there's indestructible walls. The floors are basically completely indestructible now, with the exception of these trap doors. There's these panels you'll find laying around that you can breach through. Certain parts of the floor can be damaged to the point where you can shoot through down to lower levels, but it's mixed. It's about half and half, what you can shoot through, what you can't shoot through. But you're not clearing from top down anymore in this manner. What is still there, though, is really good, and the destruction's great. The particle effects when it happens good. The breaching charges, when they go off, they're really satisfying. There's different operators that have different abilities. Some of them have special breaching abilities. Again, really satisfying. We'll talk about operators here in a little bit. The weapon handling, the guns, the shooting, the movement, all of that is what you would expect from a bit of a heavier game. By that I mean it's a little more deliberate. You are not wearing exoskeleton armor. You're not in Battlefield where you can just sprint for miles at a time without slowing down. No, your characters, depending on what gear they're wearing, they're going to move a little bit slower to a little bit faster than the average person would move, but you're going to be slower than you would in any other game, really. It doesn't feel sluggish to me, it just feels deliberate. I personally kind of like that feel to it. It's more grounded in reality. You know, these guys are wearing body armor, carrying weapons, grenades, all that. They're not going to be running all over the place like crazy. There's a nice rappelling system where you can get onto any wall that has a roof above that can be seen. Basically, if you can see a lip there, you can throw a rappelling cable up, rappel up and down. This is used a lot by the attacking forces in order to breach into upper stories of levels, or if you know there's a lot heavy defenses down low, you can get up on the second floor and then come down from the stairwell. Really well done, quite fun. I have a lot of enjoyment with this. You can turn upside down, clear through windows. It's really good. The guns, they're what you would expect. They're pretty run-of-the-mill standard. In the current beta, there's about 6 different primary weapons. There's a shorty shotgun, regular shotgun, and then like 4 different assault rifles, and 1 carbine type weapon. They feel good to shoot. They have relatively good accessories. You can put red dot sights on them, forward grips, silencers, all that. There's no complaints there. They're good. Obviously, the game's going to have a lot more when it launches. None of them seem too blatantly overpowered, with maybe the exception of the shield. We'll talk about the shields when it comes to the operators later on. Now, all of this sounds good. We have 5v5 competitive multiplayer. We have terrorist hunt. And the gameplay around all that is satisfying. It sounds like win-win-win. Great beta going on so far. And what we are technically playing is pretty darn good. Oh, another positive. The game seems to be very well optimized. I am running it at near max settings. There are certain textures I can't max out. It tells me my video card doesn't have enough VRAM. But other than the highest end textures, everything else I'm running maxed out, and I'm getting easy 110 to 120 FPS. Maybe drops to about 100 when there's a big flashbang going off and a lot of smoke in the air, a lot of particle effects. Overall, the game seems to be optimized very well, runs nice and smooth. It's nice to play because of that. The reason I'm a little hesitant of what I've been putting out there is there's a lot of unknowns with this game right now. And the gameplay is very strong, but what we see on the docket of available features coming out, plus what I think, and I'm going to get into a little bit of hypothetical here. There's a lot of unknowns because of Ubisoft. We don't have any past history with Ubisoft and a competitive-driven first-person shooter. Obviously, they have their Far Cry series, which is a shooter. They've also done the Rainbow Six, or not the Rainbow Six, but the Ghost Recon series, which is a shooter. But nothing that was. This game is directly marketed and developed for the Counter-Strike audience. It's designed to be the next competitive multiplayer game.
Oh man, finally got our RDS.
All this gets a little weird because the game is $60 up front. Counter-Strike Go is only $15 right now. I think it was $45 when it launched. Counter-Strike Go is completely funded, and all of its future development is being done via selling skins for weapons. What we have to figure out, what we don't know yet, is several things. How is Ubisoft going to push further development? If this game is going to become the next big Counter-Strike-esque game, it's going to need constant updates and balancing patches and maps and all of this. We don't know. Ubisoft did say, and I applaud them for this, the right thing, they said all maps for everyone are going to be free. free DLC maps. This is terrific. Halo's doing this. The new Halo 5's doing this. Great move by developers. This does not split the gaming community. Maps and game modes should be for everybody. They still got to find some way to make their money. We just don't know how it's going to happen. And I have no problem with them making their money. Let's be completely clear of that. I just don't want a nickel and dime game. I don't want to pay $60 up front and then get nickel and dime down the road for each little bit of content. I don't want another Evolve, is what I'm worried about. There's another little concern with the $60 price tag. So we know there's the 5v5, and we know there's the co-op terrorist hunt. Within the 5v5, there's 3 known game modes, but all 3 are very similar. There is a 2-bomb option where basically the attackers need to defuse one of 2 bombs that are located within the enemy base. There is a 1 biological unit option where there's a secret cache of biological items, or I think that's what they're called. They might have been radioactive items that the attacking team had to capture. There's another game mode that is not currently in the beta, but we know it exists, and that is Hostage Rescue, where there's a hostage, you find the hostage, the attacker's going to find the hostage, and get them out to safety. It's going to play a lot similar, very similar, but rather than sitting around and waiting for the bomb to be disarmed, you drag the hostage out to safety. So, this is what we know is in the game. There may be more. There's definitely going to be more, but how much more? Is there going to be enough there to justify $60? I don't know. That's the real unknown question. $60, plus then there's probably going to be some way they can make more money on the game for future content updates. That's the real big... who can say? The way I think it's going to happen, in the system there are operators. These are who you play as in the game. The operators are generally, there's light, medium, and heavy class, so depending on how much armor they have, how fast they move and everything. And then they all have their own little perk. Several guys have these large shields. These are borderline overpowered shields that can absorb a huge amount of damage, and you basically got to flank the guy in order to kill them. There's a guy with a sledgehammer that can clear windows and break through walls much quicker than everybody else that don't have a sledgehammer. There's a guy with this grenade launching thing that you can put on the side of a wall. It burrows into the wall and then launches grenades into the other side of the wall in order to stun people. There's these little perks that the operators have that make them all different, their own little personalities. Not to the extent of a MOBA-style hero, but a bit more than generic soldier heavy, generic soldier assault like you would have in Battlefield. My prediction is they're going to sell packs of these later on. They're going to develop another 5 down the road, put them in the game, and sell that. I'm not sure how I feel about that. As long as none of them are blatantly overpowered and they're well balanced, as long as you can maybe earn them somehow in-game, I think I'm okay with it. I just would prefer a mode similar to Counter-Strike Go with the skins. The last thing that is more of a just personal preference thing is the primary game mode, the 5v5 game mode, can become daunting and a little boring. There's a steep learning curve there. You have to really know the maps, and even if you do know the maps, one in every so often times, you're going to be the first person to die in those maps. And when you do, if you die early on, 2 minutes in, the average game match is going to run 6, 7, 8 minutes. You can end up sitting there watching the mode play out for 5 additional minutes with nothing really to do. You can chat with your guys, try to give them a little bit of advice on where the enemy was, but that's about it. There's then a 2-minute down period where the teams are rotated, so you have to choose a new class because now you're defending when you were attacking, and you set up where you're going to be and go. And then there's about a whole another minute where you're deploying defensive measures around your new base. So if you're the first person to die, there can literally be a 5, 8, almost 10-minute period where you do nothing. And God forbid you're the first to die in the second round, there can be a lot of downtime. It can also be just off-putting for people. I know, me personally, I have a real problem when I'm the weakest person on a team. If I'm the person that I feel like I'm pulling the team down, it drives me nuts. So there is that to the 5v5. It doesn't mean it's bad. If you're a Counter-Strike fan, you're probably going to like this a lot. It really is, gameplay-wise, it's like Counter-Strike, but on destructive maps. Vertical, destructive maps. Really, really good. I ended up liking the terrorist hunt almost more friend of mine, Vega, and I, we did a lot of time playing Terrorist Hunt, shooting people down, and we had a blast. And it was nice because it was just the two of us, so we didn't have to worry about dumb teammates running off and getting themselves killed. We could just go through and blow away baddies. So, yeah, I'm impressed with the gameplay. I'm impressed with the destruction. The game runs well. The guns are fun. The movement's fun. All of that is great. The real question, though, is how much is going to be in the $60 game? How much are we going to get? Also, how are they going to make money going forward in order to pay for the new DLC? They're giving us the maps for free. That's great. But there's going to be some other way they make money. Till we really know how that is, I'm going to hold off. I'm going to keep an eye on this. When December 1st rolls around, we see what's in the base game. Hopefully there's going to be enough there to justify the price tag. Jump in and have some fun. If not, wait for it to be $30, pick it up then like I would Evolve, and have some fun with it later on down the road. Alright, well, if you've been playing the beta, I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. What do you think about the game? Are you enjoying it or not? If you like this video, leave a thumbs up. Until next time, though, this has been Paler. Thanks for watching.